What is going on, everybody? Good to see everyone tonight. I'll tell you what, I'm actually a little surprised I even made it tonight, to be honest. It was a it was a really, really long weekend, long and fun, that's for sure. So that was for anybody who didn't know, there's a lot of people that are in here tonight that were part of the Bardstown Blitz 2 that we did at Heaven Hill. Was a heck of a weekend, starting, I guess I'll say, a little bit on Thursday night, and then Friday, Saturday, and then everybody kind of took off on Sunday at some point. So it's it's a it was a heck of a weekend, that's for sure. So a lot of drinking, some cigars, very little sleep, I think, for everyone, but overall, I think it was another successful Mash and Journey event, that's for sure. It looked like, from the outside looking in anyway, it looked like a lot of people had a really, really good time. So hopefully that was the case, and we'll have to start planning for next year, that's for sure. It'll be hopefully we'll be able to give you guys a little more advance notice than 1 month before. It was just how things kind of worked out this year, and some snags along the way with things, but all in all, I think it ended up being a pretty tremendous event. I think everybody, like I said before, had a heck of a time. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to be I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it to tonight to do this, but you know what, I kind of pulled it all together and said, you know what, let's have some fun tonight, go through a few new bottles, and Paul was nice enough to give me a few blind flights. We chatted earlier via text which one I should actually be doing, and we went with the smaller one, because the other one was like, I don't even know, Paul, like it was like 8 samples or something. That thing probably would have killed me. So you can see in front of me right here, I've got the 4 samples, A through D. We'll go through all those tonight, and yeah, he sent me some key, and I think he can post ultimately later on what's going on in the chat as to what the answers and stuff to everything will be. But wanted to go through a few new bottles, including some of the Heaven Hill grain to glass, 3 new ones here towards the end of 25. They just released this cool bottle. I've heard a lot about it, and this was given to me over the weekend by Blake Benson. Looking forward to getting into the I think though this is the newest release of the Silver Springs Sweet Rye. And let's see, what is this? Is this I was just looking to see if this was actually, oh, it is distilled in Kentucky. I don't know if this is MGP or or not MGP. I don't know what distillery this is actually coming from. So I don't know if anybody has any idea on the Silver Springs Rye and where those are coming from. Let me know. And then we'll also get into this guy right here, the Driftless Glen. They just released not long ago. They were nice enough to do some pours for us at our event on Saturday at the Trail Hotel, which I'll tell you what is an absolutely beautiful place. So if you're visiting Bardstown at all and you're able to get into the Trail Hotel, I would highly recommend that. Beautiful hotel, restaurant, bar, everything. You ultimately don't even have to leave there unless you're doing some distillery tours and all of that. But great place. They hosted us for a Saturday event for a few hours. I think that turned out absolutely fantastic as well. So lot of good stuff. So let's see. Let me go back real quick and we'll kind of get into a few things and say hi to a few people that were in here. Sugar Kitty, as always, number one right there. Top dog slipping a little bit, moved to number two. So saw Brady over the weekend. Good to see Brady. Mr. Roger Reese Mr. Roger Reese is out with some clients tonight, so he just wanted to say hi. There's Paulie P, SVP, as some of you may know him as. So looking forward to getting into the flight in a little while. So Mr. Ethan W, good to see you, buddy. Who else we got here? Yeah, and I think either myself or Paul will post the link as to what the blind flight will be later on. We'll go through it. He sent me there's a beginning, a wrap up, and then there's a few I think of the keys as to what I'm drinking. Have not looked at any of that. Some interesting colors I'll say with this one tonight. So should be pretty fun. So who else we got in here right now? Here's my buddy Top Jimmy. It was nice to finally meet the man, the myth, the legend, and he did not disappoint. That's for sure. We had a great weekend, and the hardest part I'll say about the event is not having enough time to spend with, I'll say everybody. You wish you could spend as much time talking and having a good time with every individual person that made the trip. And it's like impossible. So I feel bad that I wasn't able to spend even more time with a lot of people. So, but I think we all did our best for kind of making the round. So it was nice to meet Toby finally in person. So Mr. Randall Erickson, it was good to see Randall. I know Randall had a good time. I'll leave it at that. So good to see you, Randall. Thanks for making the trip. I appreciate it too. This guy right here had a pretty good time as well. I'm sure everybody will see some photos eventually, kind of getting out to the World Wide Web and all of that. So we'll see. Mr. Girth Brooks, he had a good time as well. The Jerks, was nice to see the entire family there. That was a good time. So that was cool. Who else we got in here? Try to catch up here and then go back through. And Mr. Joey B, was awesome to see Joey and his wife. I'll tell you what, I didn't get enough time to talk to Joey as well. I know I wanted to talk to Joey a little bit more, but thanks for jumping in here tonight. And it was nice to see Joey and Candace again in person. So that was nice that they made the trip. We missed John and Renee. Hopefully next year, maybe they can make the trip and get to wherever we end up hosting the event next year. So tonight Hock will be grading all the oh, man, I'll tell you, Randall, if I had to do that, I don't think I could make it. It was a lot of whiskey once again. So cheers, Phil. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Let's see. We missed Benny. I know Benny had something come up, so it was a bummer to not see Ben at the Blitz this year, but hopefully next year. So what else we got? What's up, Mike? Good to see you as well. Mr. Joe, the sample guy. Cheers, buddy. Oh, yeah. I know Jonathan wasn't feeling too well. He probably made everybody sick, but who knows? So NyQuil in the glass for me. So yeah, Jonathan wasn't feeling good for a couple days. Probably spread God only knows what. So there's Eric. Good to see you, brother. I appreciate you jumping in tonight. Eric made it to the Blitz. It was the second time in probably a month and a half I got to see Eric when we were out in doing our Reverie stuff. So it was good to see Eric and smoke a couple cigars and all of that good stuff. So who else we got here? Yeah, that it was, Paul. It was a great time with a lot of great people, that's for sure. Mr. Roman Carter, cheers, buddy. Yeah, Z-Biotics. I don't know, man. It was like, I don't know if there was enough Z-Biotics to help with a few people, that's for sure. But overall, it was pretty darn manageable. Nothing got, I'll say, out of control at all. It was just a fantastic couple of days, 2 or 3 days, I guess I should say. So it was nice to see JG. That was good. We had some good chat, some good cigars, all that good stuff. What's up, Chip? Good to see you, brother. Got to spend a little time with Travis. That was fun as well. So got to try some good whiskey and all that. All right, I don't know what I don't even know what that is. I can't even figure that out, Travis. So there's Joey again. Cheers, Joey. What else we got? Josh Fritz, good to see you, Josh. I'm catching up, I promise. Let's see what we got. I just don't want to miss anything. So yeah, I don't know, Paul. I don't know if I want to go down that road again. So I'll try to keep it together on that one. Small sips, that's for sure, with the next one. So what else we got here? Yeah, but overall, I would say, like, I mean, I think anybody in the chat tonight, if you weren't able to make it, I think a lot of the guys in here tonight will be able to vouch for it being a good time. So if anyone didn't make it or wasn't able to make it this year, hopefully you can next year. It's a just overall, it's just a great, 2 or 3 days of, hanging out, getting to see a lot of people that we see here and do all this, have some great whiskeys, good conversations, just overall have a really good time hanging out for, 2 or 3 days. So yeah, it was just again, overall fantastic thing. So yeah, there you go. So if you guys want to follow along later on when I get into that, we'll do that as well. So there's the I don't know if I can pin that. Let's see. I'll have to go through and see if I can find that. Let me see if I'll be able to find it. Oh, here we go. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. There we go. All right, so I just pinned that at the top, so anybody can you guys can follow along for if you want to figure that out. So not sure what that, I must have missed something, Travis. Let's see. Fort Ord Hope, good to see you. The jerks again. All right, I'll speed this thing up here a little bit. So what else we got? Yeah. Let's see. Where is this is probably dangerous, but there you go, Travis. Now you're one as well. So wasn't sure if this guy was still going to be alive. So what's up, brother? Good to see Mr. Marty Whiskey Nose. Oh, interesting. All right. Well, we'll kind of get into that. They were nice enough. Yeah. Saturday we had 9 or 10 different distilleries pouring samples and stuff. So that was pretty good. So all right, let me speed this thing up a little bit. Thanks, Ricardo. Appreciate it. I know Ricardo and his wife, I believe, were there as well. So that was a good time. My wife was like the unofficial picture taker. So if it wasn't for her, I'd have like no photos of anything. So thank God for her. So I'll make a couple posts and a couple, or maybe even tomorrow, get some of that stuff out there and all of that. So BT, we got to get to the next one. That is for sure. So good to see you, BT. What else we got here? Mr. Adam Price. Adam, we got to get you there next year, dude. Buddy, we got to get you there. Be a short drive for you as well. So I know the biggest part was it was kind of short for a lot of people in terms of notice. So we got to get you there next year. So, but I know there's a lot of people that will vouch. There's another guy we got to get there at some point too. You're gonna have to put the combine away for a couple days if possible. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Travis. I don't know if B is Mountain Dew or Paul had to take a urine sample or something that he forgot to put in a different different sample or something. So what's up, Jonathan? Hopefully you feel a little bit better. I think you got a few people sick there, but whatever. Anyway, all right. It was a great time. So we're looking forward to next year already. So all right. So we got a few new things. So maybe I'll start with, I don't know if you guys want me to get into I don't know how many are interested in the the new Heaven Hill grain to glass. So kind of interesting this year with these being finished in what is it? Chinaquapin? What the heck is that? What is that? Chinquapin barrels, not just finished, but aged in it. So I think it gives a lot of characteristics that like a French oak kind of does. I believe that's kind of what it's supposed to, I guess, resemble a little bit is the effects of like what a French oak barrel can kind of do. So I know they're supposed to add to some of the texture, a lot of vanillins, things along those lines. So we'll see. So Chinko pin. All right. Chinko pin. Okay. All right. Chinko pin. All right. I'll go with that. Chinko pin. All right. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate the English lesson. That's always a big help. So all right, so let's do that. Let's get into that first. I think this will be interesting because a lot of people, even at the Blitz, were asking. I know I had made a post maybe a few days prior to that, and we missed Eric this year. Eric, where the hell were you? But good to see you in here tonight, buddy. So a couple of people asked prior to me going to the Blitz and all that, what my thoughts were. And I hadn't even gotten into them yet. So I want to go through these things quick tonight and just kind of give you a little quick idea. Then we will jump into the blind tonight. So let's see what we first get with this bad boy. I'll throw this over here so that everybody can see which one I'm sipping on. So I'll give you an idea of what the first one is here. Chinquapin, whatever the heck that was again. Whatever the hell that word is. Chinquapin. I don't even know. Why in the world would they name something like that? Just name it oak. How about that? Let's just go with that. But anyway, let me get rid of this. There we go. Chinquapin. All right. I feel like I'm like part of a spelling bee, which I probably wouldn't do very well in, but they repeat everything all the time. So anyway, all right, I digress. So this one here, so this is just their standard or their Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. Mash bill on this one's going to be, so this is kind of interesting. 52 corn, again, 35% rye, 13% malted barley, barrel entry proof 107, bottling proof 105. So based on this, I mean, unless this thing skyrocketed or these things skyrocketed up in proof, they wouldn't have had to add a lot of water. So I think that's all the details they gave me on this one. But this is basically this was distilled in 2018. I don't know, they give us a bottling. So roughly, I'll just say 7 years old. So no, Travis, I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. I hate pumpkin spice. I'm not a fan of that stuff at all. But let's give you an idea of what this new one here is. Oh man, it smells like very much like a roasted or like a candied almond. Lots of baking spice on it. Not getting blown away by proof. Again, proof on this 107. So nice proof point, I think, though. Boy, so far, nice nose. Very buttery, smells kind of rich, very sweet on the nose. Here's my buddy. Good to see you, Ed Williams. It was good to hang out with Ed. All right, let's get into this. Boy, even maybe a little some black peppers on there as well. So, cheers, guys! Thanks for everybody who not only made it to the Blitz, but here tonight, and here's to recovery this week a little bit. Hopefully give some of your livers a little rest. Love the mouthfeel, the texture, nice and velvety. That's one thing I'll say about it, like right away. Black pepper, a lot of baking spice. Again, a little bit of that kind of like toasted almond, something along those lines. There's a little bit of a, let's see, how would I say this? Little bit of a, I'll say like an herbal kind of character like maybe almost a like a root beer, a little bit of like a ginger, something along those lines. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Again, I think this is what high rye, right? Yeah. So 52 corn, 35 rye, 13% malted barley. Yeah, definitely some wood influence and stuff on this thing. Hmm. Yeah, very yeah, gee, they were very prompt in getting me over to the Blitz event, that's for sure. Thank God for handrails, right? Yeah, I think for that one so far, maybe these things need like a little bit of time as well. So I just opened these the other day, so I haven't had anything. This is kind of the first time. Interesting so far, I think, with this. Probably want to let that thing kind of open up a little bit before I kind of dive into it a little bit more, but just want to kind of get an idea of, some quick kind of tasting notes on that one. Again, that's just their regular, I guess, bourbon, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey on there, finished in chinquapin pin barrels, whatever the hell that is. So you can see color is really, really nice on this thing. Beautiful. That's one thing I noticed immediately was the color on there so far. So all right. So the next one in line for these will be their weeded bourbon. So mash bill on this is going to be 52 corn, 35% wheat, and 13% malted barley. Let's see, so far the mash bill has been identical in terms of rye versus wheat in both mash bills. So let's get that one poured up a little bit and see what this one kind of has to offer, and give you a kind of a little first impression with this one here. So what else we got here with this? Any other info? Again, same barrel entry proof 107, bottling proof 105 as well. Not a lot of other details other than kind of do give you some nose, palate, finish stuff, but I don't really pay much attention to that. So, why this one smells even like a little bit more like kind of bolder on the nose. So, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. I wasn't sure how many people I'd even see in here tonight who didn't want to partake in any anything having to do with whiskey. I wouldn't blame you. So, you know what, Paul? That's a very good question. I didn't see anything that was showing price on these, and what they sent me, nothing at all gives any MSRP prices. So as of right now, I couldn't tell you exactly what they're MSRPing for. So, but again, this is their straight Kentucky weeded bourbon. So we'll see exactly what we've got with this one. So again, I love the colors on these things. They're really nice colors so far. So all right, let's see what we got with this one. So again, this is their weeded bourbon mash bill. Hmm. Very, very sweet, almost a like an immediate, like kind of honey glaze type of nose. You're picking up a little bit more of that wheat grain, but it's soft. It's like heavy vanilla, almost a little bit of like a pastry type of nose. A little bit of spice and stuff behind it. Oak, you're getting a little hint of that oak, but I think more of that's going to be very prevalent more on the palate. So, hmm. Yeah, it's a very different profile, of course, with it being a weeded bourbon. This feels a little bit hotter, almost more of a Kentucky hug type of feel to this one. Little hotter, I would say. Again, nice spice, maybe some kind of like softer red fruits on this one as well. Again, a little bit of that kind of honey vanilla type of feel. Definitely you're picking up the fact that it is a weeded bourbon, that for sure. I wouldn't say so far the finish feels overly long on that one, but again, I think I'm not really giving it a very fair or true representation until you kind of dive into these, give these things a little bit of airtime, and then kind of digest it from there. So far, I mean, I'm kind of liking where these are going. Hopefully they continue to maybe open up, get a little bit more kind of airtime and stuff on them. Yeah, nice kind of pepper notes that are there as well. Yeah, kind of honey glaze a little bit. Hmm, not too bad. This feels maybe a little bit more robust actually than the rye bourbon was. So interesting. Hmm. Oh, that's a good question. Let me see. So these 700 mLs. Um, uh, hmm. I'm actually not seeing on here if it shows 750 or if it's on the bottle or not, but yeah, I'm not sure if it says on there or not. So what's up, Mr. O'Neill? Wasn't sure if wasn't sure if Will's gonna make it a couple days. That's for sure. I feel like he was trying to drink all the whiskey at the Blitz, but he bounced back every day like a champ. I'll tell you that. So he was bright eyed and bushy tailed every morning, and by the evening, he was Will was feeling good. That's for sure. So good to see Will as always. So um, yeah. I wish I knew. I don't know if they say on the card if it's a 750 or 700 milliliter. Yeah, I don't know, Paul. All right, let's get that one out of the way. So far, I think that was nice. I kind of like that kind of pepper and kind of red berry note that it was giving. So let's see what we've got here. All right, so third of the Heaven Hill grain to glass is going to be their straight rye whiskey. So let's see what this one has to offer this year. Oh, there we go. All right, let's see what we've got here. I know normally it is on the bottle. I'm trying to find where it says 750 or 700. If it does, I can't even see that. So I don't know. You guys, you're gonna have to guess it whether it's a 700 or 750. I can't even see that. So um all right, I'll leave that one alone. So, all right, let's tackle this one. So, again, this is their straight rye whiskey. Give you some of the final notes on this one. Again, same thing with this little different mash bill. The other two are the same, but rye on this one 63% rye, 24% corn, 13% malted barley. So, man, that seems like an odd mash bill. I don't think that's not a standard that's not their standard rye mash bill, is it? Doesn't sound it doesn't sound right, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe they are 700. So if I could see up close, I could probably tell you, but all right, let's see what we've got here with this one. Oh man, very Very minty so far on the nose. Again, same thing, barrel entry proof, 107. The bottling proof on this is a little bit higher at 107. So the barrel entry proof and bottling proof are identical at 107. So that's kind of interesting. Thanks, Travis. All right, so 130 bucks for a 700 milliliter. I'm gonna get into these things maybe this week sometime. Hopefully do a review of these. Maybe I'll try to do all of them at one time just to give everybody an idea of what to expect from each one. But I want to give these things some air, let them kind of open up, sit down with them before I do them any justice. So far, nose, I think probably standard, typical of that kind of sweet Kentucky rye type of profile, sweet, kind of minty, um, some nice kind of like almost like lemongrass kind of notes, little hint of some baking spice and black pepper. I'd say very kind of typical or standard it feels for like an Elijah Craig rye. But let's see. I want to see kind of more of the mouthfeel, the texture of this whiskey. Feels like this one might be a little bit richer. So hmm. Boy, so what I would say with this is it's much it's much darker and less sweet, I think, so far on the palate. Again, a little more black pepper, little more rye grain forward. Not necessarily grainy, but more of an actual rye influence on this one. So less sweetness, I would say. Again, you're getting a little bit of that citrus, a little bit of like a tart, like lemon kind of feel to it. Little hint of that spearmint note that's there as well. Definitely sweeter on the nose than it is coming across on the palate. So again, that will be interesting to see kind of how this whiskey develops a little bit along the way as well. So, but this is the first time trying them, so I wanted to kind of share that with you guys a little bit and just kind of give you a little quick reference. But I'm looking forward to kind of diving into these things a little bit more. So, um, yeah, I wouldn't want to even go out on a limb and say like which one my favorite is at this point. I think that's a little bit unfair, even though I did like that. I did like that ride. I liked each one of them for kind of what they have to offer. So, but there's Double B. Actually, I'm just getting ready to get into your the new Silver Springs, that sweet rye. So, and again, I don't know if someone said it before. So it looks like is this thing bottled in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but distilled in Kentucky? Do we have any idea? I thought somebody said something before. Blake may know where the actual distillate is coming from if we have an idea. So pour this and see what we've got, and then we can kind of get into the blind. So, oh, this is new riff. Okay, interesting. So, I've liked it. It's dark, almost as though kind of like their Silver Grove. I don't know if this has anything to do with that, but what did I see? All right, this is JW Kelly, right? Yeah, JW Kelly. So, all right, let's pour this thing and see what I've heard some good things. I've heard some really good things about it. So I was excited to get the bottle. And thanks again, Blake. I appreciate that. So what do we got here? Bro loves his cranberry juice. All right, it must have been in reference to something else I saw, but all right, new riff. All right, we're good to go. Locked into new riff. So I think some of their stuff's been pretty darn fantastic. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this thing is maybe I don't know 35 or 40 bucks. Great color, reminding me a lot of what the Silver Grove stuff kind of looked like a little bit. I don't know if that's coming from again some top fours or what this is, but it's got some really nice color and stuff to it. So not sure let's see, what do we got here? Coming in at, let's see, this was bottled on September 8th, 25. Proof is 116 proof. This is bottle 131, cask 15322, if anyone really cared. So, man, 35 to 40 bucks, man, you can't go wrong with that already. So I'm kind of excited to really get into this. So that's a kind of a deep, kind of like chocolatey, fruity, almost like a chocolate covered or a chocolate covered raisin a little bit. Nice spice behind it. Little hint of mint, I would say. Maybe a touch if it's there. Maybe a touch of dryness maybe on the nose. But nice fruit layer on this. Again, nice chocolate. Again, that kind of chocolate covered raisin. I would say also with this on the nose, definitely some nice barrel influence. You can kind of sense that char, that barrel really influencing these whiskeys. So, all right, let's give this one a try. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate everyone for joining tonight, and those whose liver is still functioning from the weekend. I appreciate you hanging out for a little bit. Mm. Well, I'd say even with this one, in addition to that kind of chocolate covered raisin, you can throw in some chocolate covered, cherry, something along those. More of a dark cherry, not that kind of artificial fake cherry. This kind of gets into a more of like a Luxardo cherry kind of feel. A little hint of that herbal kind of character. I'll say, maybe that, slight kind of like, root beer, not quite that, maybe even with some of the vanillas, you can almost kind of get into that root beer float kind of feel that this thing has to it. Nice spice level. Proof, I think, is spot on right at that, right at that kind of like 116 proof point. Feels like it's right about that proof point. So kind of interesting with that. But I like that kind of almost, dare I say, like kind of licorice note that it has as well. But yeah, I think this one might need like a little bit of airtime. Again, I'd like to give these bottles, like I hate just cracking something open and then trying to, review exactly what it is based on just that kind of opening of the bottle. I'd like to give it, like a good week or 10 days before I kind of dive into those. So we'll see what that was. So yeah, I don't know, Tom. Maybe this has a little bit to do with that. Maybe this is slightly older. This is from this was bottled here almost the first part of September of this year. So I don't know if this would necessarily be the most recent release or not, but I don't know. So far, I'm kind of digging this, but I like this profile. I would say it's definitely different. So, which I appreciate. And I think that's been a lot of what kind of New Riff has been giving us is something different, a little bit more unique. So, yeah, kind of digging that actually. Yeah, man, for 35 or 40 bucks, that thing's a buy all day in my book. So, I think it's a fantastic rye whiskey. It says sweet rye. I don't know if this is a sweet mash. Is that what they're referring to? Or just the fact that they are interpreting this as being just a sweet flavor or a sweeter flavored rye. I'm not sure what that would be, but it's nice. I'll tell you that, man. If you could find, I'd say if you can find one of these or a few of these for 30, 35 or 40 bucks, man, I'd buy a few of those. That's a great, honestly, that's a great sipping rye whiskey right there. Good texture, good mouthfeel. Man, I'm uh I'm digging that the most right now, I would say. So, all right, I had a couple of other ones. I got these sample from, I don't know if you guys want me to dive into this. You can let me know if you do or not. This is the newest release from Found North, which is their Goldfinch that they're referring to. Let's see if I can get that to pop on there. There we go. It's a little bit better. So they're just showing, I don't know any of the details or whatever. It's age 15 years. So obviously that being the youngest. So let me know if you want me to dive into that or just kind of dive right into the blind. We'll kind of get after that. We're already 40 minutes in, so maybe I'll just do that. 80s lingo suite was cool. Well, maybe people appreciate that. So oh, all right. All right. Paul wants to hear about the goldfinch. I haven't gotten into it yet, but actually just received that let's see, maybe yesterday. So all right, let's see what we got. Who wants that? What's up, Ritter? Good to see Todd. I only saw him for a short period of time, but it was nice that he stopped by. So thanks, Todd. Appreciate that. All right, let me just dive into this real quick. Let me just pour a little bit of the Found North, give you an idea, and then we'll dive into the flight from Paul. He's got an interesting flight. I'll give him that in terms of colors. I'm not exactly sure where in the world this thing's going to go, but I'm excited and slightly concerned all at the same time, if that makes sense. So, all right, let's see what we've got here. Okay. All right, here we go. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, they didn't send me. I didn't get any information on what exactly everything was. So, all right, so he's got 15-year corn and new American oak, 22-year-old corn and American oak, 20-year corn and used American oak, 22 corn in American oak, and 20-year rye in used American oak. All right, so a lot of older corn with maybe a little bit of that 20-year rye to balance it out. So, all right, this will be interesting. So, oh, and it's Sauternes. Okay, so we're running all this stuff through Sauternes casks. Evenly split between cognac cask and air dried heavy toast, char level 1, new American oak from Kelvin. Okay, all right. So I'm guessing just without even smelling this thing, it's going to have quite a bit of sweetness, unless that older rye is kind of. And again, I don't know what the percentages are of what each I guess whiskey within this blend would be. That would have a lot to do with that. But all right, so I'd say not quite. It's sweet, but not quite as sweet as I thought maybe it was going to be on the nose. I'd say really nice kind of like spice, almost this kind of buttery pepper note that's there. The oak influence is there, but it's more of like that kind of like vanilla oak, and I'm guessing like with that toast that's there, maybe that's a little bit more of an influence as well. Yeah, very buttery, almost like a buttered popcorn feel with like some sugar sprinkled on that, if that makes any sense. Hmm. The rye, I think, has an influence. It's really influencing all of this, I think, but it's balancing it out all at the same time. So, all right, let me dive into this and see what this gives us on the palate. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate everybody for joining tonight. So, okay, so this is oftentimes what they have a lot of corn related. So, 91 corn. What do we got? 8% rye. So this again, and remember, each one of these grains. So the corn, rye, malted barley are all distilled grains at 100%. So the 91% is just showing it's 91% of 100% distilled corn whiskey. So that's the difference between Canadian rye mash bills and US mash bills. Is each grain are percentages of 100%. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. Mr. Blanchard, good to see you, buddy. It was good to see you and Jordan at the Blitz and hang out for a couple days. So cheers to you guys. Creamy mouthfeel, I'll tell you that. A lot of vanilla custard. Um, some kind of like honeycomb, a little bit of like a spicy sweet tea, some citrus for sure. A little bit of a combo of like a uh, lemon, lime, orange kind of feel that it has. Hmm. That's one thing with Found North, man. They always have these rich textured whiskeys that are kind of ever evolving for the most part. So interesting so far with that. I think the price points on these are oftentimes give or take like a couple $100 or so, something around there. I'll say the finish has this nice kind of long, again, little bit of like kind of a leather note that's there, a little bit of black pepper. That sweetness kind of still lingers there as well. There's regarding the oak part of this, it's it's always or this one has a little bit of that kind of dustiness where you're starting to get that that older oak kind of feel, not where you get like kind of more modern, modern type oak that we're a lot of times used to. When you get into that slight dusty or kind of like funky oak note, this does give you that, especially as the finish begins to kind of develop. So it's it's a really, really nice whiskey. And again, one that I probably want to sit down with a little bit longer just to get a better idea of what this thing really has to offer. But again, I think for what Found North has done, oftentimes they're really, producing some really, really fantastic whiskeys. I mean, the with Nick and everybody kind of behind the brand, it's it's kind of a foregone conclusion that they're going to be releasing something that's still a really, really fantastic whiskey. So, again, I hate to tell people, hey, just go out and buy a $200 bottle, of whiskey. But, a lot of people are really fond of what it is that Found North does. So, if you're used to, what it is they produce, I think they've produced yet another really good whiskey. But I'll sit down with that here in a couple days and do more of a formal review of that. So, thanks, Travis. Yeah, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Appreciate all of that. Goes a long way. So there was no way. I don't know. Someone asked me if I wanted one of those things, and it was more, Travis. It was like double that. It was like a 33. I don't know, it was like 33 milligram. Like that thing would have had me spinning like a top or something. So anyway, all right, let's do this. Let's dive into the blind here that Paul was nice enough to send. So we'll get into that, and he can share some info and all of that with you guys. Or if anyone's following along, you can see it's pinned. It's pinned in the chat. So if anybody wants to click on that, you can see what I'll be drinking. So I don't know. I'll give you my. Let's see. All right. So here's what he sent me. So this was the first one. So it just says. Thought you might get a kick out of this lineup. No pressure. Questions to answer. Give us your thoughts on notes, likes, dislikes, and then maybe just rank 1 through 4. So I will do that. So I'll give my my thoughts, my impressions, and then rank these things in least favorite to my favorite, and give you guys an idea of I don't know. Maybe I'll try to guess as to what in the world they are, if possible, and see exactly what this stuff is. So. All right, let's give it the old college try here. I'm gonna damage the liver a little bit more and tackle these things. So, all right, we're obviously going to start with letter A. Thanks to Johnny Top Dog for giving me all the letter glasses. This way I can't screw everything up like I did that one night and all of that. So we missed Tommy D this year at the Blitz. Hopefully you're doing well. I think he's still out of the country, if I'm not mistaken. So, what's up, Tommy? Good to see you, brother. All right, let's get into this thing, and it's all flavor vodka. There's a few of you I don't trust. There's a few of you I don't trust. That's for sure. So I don't know if I could trust a flight that JG sent me or not. God only knows what that would be. So anyway, all right. Cheers, everyone. Appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. So let's kind of dive into letter A and see what we've got. So. Hmm. Hmm. Got a little bit of a kind of a crafty whiskey nose, if that makes any sense. Almost like actually it almost has this like kind of Texas feel a little bit to it. It's got this heavy, like kind of youthful, not necessarily youthful, but like it almost could have come out of like a small barrel or something. It's got that intenseness that you'll get with some of those kind of whiskeys. There are some fruit notes that are there as well. Maybe like a slight kind of, I don't know, baker's chocolate that are there. Maybe some brown sugars. Crafty with an F, not crappy. So you can speculate, Wayne. You can speculate all you want. So you missed the blitz, and you live in the state of Kentucky, for crying out loud. Come on, Wayne. Gotta get there next year, buddy. Yeah, I'd say there's a little bit of that. It almost feels like, if I was gonna like guess like right away, it feels like a little bit of this Texas funk, like where it doesn't feel like there's a lot of age, but it feels like it was like aged rapidly. That's what that smell is giving me. But all right, let's give this one a try and see exactly what we got. I'm slightly concerned going to letter B, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So anyway, let's give this one a try. Cheers, everyone. Oh my God. Night and day, man. That thing is like, that's maybe some of the most maple I've ever gotten on a whiskey in my entire life. That almost tastes like maple flavored whiskey. It's so much maple. If that's not finished in a maple syrup cask or something, I'll be amazed. That thing is that is the most maple, like brown sugar. It's almost like this maple chocolate pecan pie is kind of what it's giving me. It doesn't feel like it's overly like proofy, but it is sweet. It's very much like a dessert, whiskey. So yeah, Eric, the B looks like I'm not gonna even lie. It looks like it's like he forgot to send the wrong sample to the lab or something. I'm just saying. So man, oh man, this thing is now going back to the nose. It's much sweeter. I'm picking out a little bit more of that like kind of charred maple, like maple pecan pie. My God, it's so much. Like once I took a sip, I wasn't getting as much of that on the nose until I sipped it. So I don't know how that's not going to influence. Definitely B, unless depending on what that is. But oh my God, that is like so much maple, brown sugar. Yeah, it is. That thing is sweet. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's super crushable. I don't know what the proof is on that. It feels fairly low. Like I don't even know if it's 100 proof. Like it feels like it's fairly lower proof. But yeah, that would be one of those things right there. You'd have to be like in the mood for that. Like if you just wanted something very sweet, like man, you could give that to somebody like around Thanksgiving and like with some pie or something. I don't know, but Yeah, maybe B is a palate cleanser. I don't know. Maybe it's Mountain Dew. I don't even know. Come on, kitty. Come on. I don't know. Um, right there, B is Gallo Chardonnay. It could very well be. I don't know what this is. I'm slightly I'm slightly nervous to sip B because coming when I poured these things, even when I saw the samples, I'm like, what in the world is Paul doing here? Like I don't know I don't know what it is, but so what's up, Tyler? Was good to see Tyler over the weekend as well. So good to see you, buddy. It was good to have a couple of cigars and chew the fat a little bit with Tyler as well. So uh, come on, G. I'm like, I hope nothing's steaming coming off me. So all right, here we go. We're gonna go into oh man, Malort. Jeez, I'll know that. Toby, I'll know that like right away. So oh my god, it almost smells like nothing, to be honest. Jeez, what is this? It almost has no smell. This is very, very interesting. I don't know what in the world this is. It literally has like it literally has like no smell. I mean, unless A completely just ruined my nose and my palate. Man, all right. Try to lock in here and see what in the world this is. This is definitely not. I would expect your lab sample to even smell better than this. This doesn't even smell like anything. I What in the world? I have zero idea what this is. I I can't even I can't even get anything. I can't even get anything off this. I don't know. I don't know what in the world. I don't know what in the world this is. Now I'm even like more scared to even try it. Oh my god. Oh man, I didn't drink very much water. I only had like a couple sips, no more than normal. Not like I just drank a gallon of water. All right. If there's anything that I'm getting at all on this, it's like maybe this very, very light, like lemon note or something. I mean, there's maybe a little alcohol behind it. I don't know, what is this? Like pledge or something? I don't even know what this is. All right. We're gonna dive in. If I drink this thing and I keel over, it was great knowing everybody. So we'll see exactly what this thing is. So wish I had like a death alert button or whatever. I had 911 like on speed dial here. I don't know, it might be like this like watered down lemon pledge or something. All right, here we go. Cheers, everyone, and here's to not dying. All right, so I guess what I would say is I didn't die. That's good. I don't know. Maybe is this like an American single malt? It's like a apple juice. It's like very apple pear. Like it's coming across as like a finish. Could be even like something you'd get through like a sauterne. Sometimes you get that feel, but it's coming across as very much of like an American single malt BT. I don't think this is brandy. I don't think. I mean, it's very apple pear, like yeah, prickly pear or something along those lines. Man, I don't think this is brandy, but man, that's kind of a good call though. I mean, it's light, like whatever the aging on this is, it's not very. This isn't like got a to me like a lot of chocolate. There's a little bit of a spice behind it, but man, it's not giving me that. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to like take that all in and figure out. I don't know. I guess it could be. I know BT said brandy before. Could be like I don't know. It's giving you this like spicy Apple Jacks kind of feel to it. I don't know. Like whatever that is, I've not had anything like that before. I guess I'm just trying to figure out like what other like spirit that could be if it's not whiskey. At least the finish has some spice to it, but again, it's very apple, pear, spice, some a little bit of like a black or white pepper. Not like a ton going on, but it's more interesting, I guess, just not knowing what it is. So I don't know that I don't. Yeah, spicy apple jacks or something. That's kind of what it's giving me a little bit. If there is oak on this thing, like it feels like it's there, but not anything that would be overdone. That's why I was thinking before, like, I don't know if it could be I don't know, like a cognac finish or something like that, maybe, but for a very short period. I don't know. Like that's different, man. That's very different. Yeah, I'm still alive. So yeah, that's good. That's good. So all right. I don't know. Like whatever that is, I'll be the most amazed and interested to hear what in the world that thing is. So yeah, it's like this kind of spicy apple jacks or something. Oh man. All right, I gotta give that 80, 100. Oh man, I don't even know. Like it feels pretty low in proof. I mean, it definitely didn't feel like it was. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's really doesn't have that kind of earthy, grapey note. So, kind of even when I said it, I was kind of almost not thinking that even as I said it. So, I'd be very surprised if that was. I don't know. It just has this again, Apple Jacks kind of spicy Apple Jacks feel, pear or something along those lines. A lot of those kind of light pickle whiskey. I don't think it's pickle whiskey. I mean, maybe, but if it was pickle, like I think I would be able to pull that out because I freaking hate pickles. But whatever. So, all right, let's move on to letter C and see. Let's see if we get back on the whiskey train or not. So, all right, well, we're definitely getting back on that. So, nothing's blowing me away proof wise so far. Yeah, a lot of brown sugar. Again, a little bit more of this kind of so far kind of crafty. Yeah, a lot of brown sugars, nice oak note. A lot of kind of more, I should say a lot, but some barrel influence that's there, molasses, brown sugar. Has a little bit of a like a ECBP feel, but more of a from a craftier standpoint on this one. Hmm. I did eat cereal. It was it Apple Jacks? If you did you eat Apple Jacks? maybe a little more rye influence on this. I don't think it's a rye whiskey. Maybe a slightly higher rye. Hmm, what else is that? Yeah, it's definitely a richer profile. Again, like I said, maybe more barrel influence, brown sugars, molasses, that kind of like again, like kind of burnt caramels, things along those lines. Nice spice. Really nice baking spices, I would say on this one. So, all right, let's kind of get into this and see what we've got. Magic spoon. Hmm. Maybe my maybe my favorite so far. I'd say there's this again, it's got a similar profile to A, but without as much maple. I'd say there's a little bit more of that maple. Yeah, maple pecan, something along those lines. Has a good mouthfeel, good texture. Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of very similar to A. Again, just a lot less sweeter. It's still sweet. I don't know if this is some of that Old Glory or not, but interesting. I guess it does have a little bit of that kind of craft feel, almost, maybe with like A and C having a little bit of that feel. Maybe these are because I am getting a little bit of that funk that sometimes you get from like a pot still. And maybe A and C have a little bit of that funkiness that's there that you oftentimes will get with a pot still distillation. I don't want to quite say like pencil shavings or anything, but it does have a little bit of that. Um, I don't know. I mean, dare I say iodine? Like, there's a little bit of that. Anyway, there's a little bit of a pot still feel to I think both A and C. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But it has that funkiness. It's either crafty or pot still. It's definitely something that's giving me that little kind of different feel. Hmm. Might be I don't wanna say a fair amount of rye, but there's a nice rye spice to it. Man, I'll be very surprised if A and C are not pot still distillate. Yeah, I guess again they A and C are very very similar to me. They have a very similar profile, but A was much sweeter. Again, like I said before, maybe the most maple I've ever had. But if I was ranking them so far, I'd probably go. Oh man, I would definitely rank this as my favorite so far. The difference between these two are like night and day. They're completely different. So I think with A being like so sweet that it would be hard to want to drink that like every day. This is just different. Like that's just B is completely different than anything I feel like I've had before. So I'd probably go in the order that I've drank them in terms of least favorite to favorite. So I'd probably go, third, second, first so far. So um so yeah, I don't know. So what's up, Big Vic? Good to see you, buddy. I was hoping you were feeling okay. You were quiet at the Blitz. I I was worried about you. You were too quiet. I was wondering why is Vic so damn quiet here? But hopefully everything is good. All right, let's dive into letter D and see where we're at with these. I don't know. The profiles on all of them are I couldn't guess because nothing is overly familiar to me. Like I don't feel like these are either things I've had before. Um Definitely B doesn't feel like anything. And really this, like I've not had anything that sweet in an awful long time. And again, both A and C feel very, very similar. So hmm, man, not getting a ton, maybe a little bit of fruit on this one. Hmm. Nice spice so far on D. Hmm. Yeah, it does have a more of a kind of a buttery kind of texture to it, just on the nose so far. Starting to open up a little bit here. Jesus, Tommy. No, I didn't see him eating any of that. So Vic was too quiet for my liking. That's for sure. Man, all right. I guess I would say I'm not getting like a ton on the nose with this. I think you get some kind of like muted, some muted brown sugar, some chocolate notes. This might have a little bit more proof. Maybe the most proofy of the four. Hmm. All right, let's give it a try. I think you're getting a little bit more kind of brown sugars. It's kind of interesting with A, C, and D. They all have very similar type of profiles. So just different levels of sweetness for sure. Definitely the highest proof. Definitely the highest proof. Mm, boy, what is that? Well, cheers, Andre. Glad you're glad you're learning a lot about bourbon. Some good people in here will teach you a lot about bourbon. Mm, Dickel. Mm, Boy, now you got me thinking, Travis or Paul. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, this feels like it's got more, definitely more proof, but and nothing feels or tastes like overly familiar to me. So I'm sure this is something different that maybe I've not had before. I mean, I probably like it in terms of the reverse order of how I drink these tonight. No, Eric, I don't think C is necessarily my favorite. All right, Katie's in here. Let me drop this real quick. Um, for anybody who is looking to pick up a little bit of whiskey, I told Katie I would drop this. So here's a nice way to save a few bucks off some Drifting Dreams coffee. Fantastic coffee. They were nice enough to brew a bunch of it for a lot of us. The I think both mornings actually. We were only able to get it on Saturday. We were gone or too late on Friday morning, but Saturday morning we were able to get some, and what they were brewing was absolutely fantastic. And absolutely love whatever you gave me, Katie. That was great whiskey or great whiskey, great coffee. I might have to pick up some of that and and brew some of that. So I'll probably get some beans if that's possible of what that one was. I'll have to look on the bag unless you remember exactly which one that is. But for anybody who wants to pick up a few things of coffee or whatever, here's a chance to save 25% or 10% off. Just use code Blitz25. That'll save 25 or Blitz 25 gets you 10% off of coffee orders of $25 or more. So there you go with some of that. So again, Blitz 25 gets you 10% off orders $25 and above. And I believe there's even a discount or maybe free shipping on orders above $35, if I'm not mistaken. So there you go. Blitz 25 gets you 10% off. So um yeah, that's really, really nice coffee. I was digging, Julie and I were digging that this morning. So yes, orders over $35 free shipping. So there you go. Save that's a pretty darn good deal right there. Plus you're gonna save 10% off. So all right, so let's see. So here's what I would say. Like I none of these profiles are are familiar to me, and like I'm guessing they're all either from distilleries that I'm just not overly familiar with or haven't had much of, because they have a little bit of that different profile. What a I mean, like A is the most maple I've ever gotten on a whiskey, I think maybe ever. So what's up, Trey? Good to see you. Trey and his wife were at the Blitz, so it was nice to talk to Trey for a little while. So um Jesus. Oh boy. So anyway, all right, here's to take a guess as to what these are. I have no idea. Like I said before, the profiles are very different, not overly familiar to me. So what I would do is I would rank these in, I guess, reverse order or in order that I tasted them in. I would rank these my least favorite to my favorite. So A, B, C, D. So A being number 4, B 3, C 2, D in first place. So I don't know if you want to Paul, I don't know if you want to reveal what these were. I haven't looked at anything. Actually, I do have the keys. You want me to go ahead and just open these up so I could open up? Let's see. So A would be, so I'll just open up in reverse orders. A, B, C, and D. So, all right. So I'll open up. I'll open up. Actually, should I do the one that says wrap up? Should I read that first before I reveal what I drank? I wasn't sure what order or how I should be doing this. So yeah, Tyler, it was a cool blind. Just I mean, from a different standpoint, and then like not dying after drinking B, that was pretty cool. So I appreciate that. So open them up and read them. Let them fly. We all know the answers. So all right. So I don't need to wrap up at the end after answers. Cool. All right. So in fourth place is letter A. So Papa's Pillar. Okay, so I mean, all right, hang on. So is this actually whiskey or is this a dark rum? Solera, Dominican, Panama, Barbados, Venezuela, rum, pot, and oh, well, this is explaining a lot. Why that explains it. All right. Guess that explains why the hell it's so damn sweet. It's freaking rum. That's why I'm like, man, oh man, that is the sweet. That is the most maple I've ever received that I've ever gotten on anything before. So I wasn't sure he was going to send me rum at all, but I guess that makes a lot of sense as to why in the world it's maple and brown sugar. That's for sure. So, but it is that's 102.8 proof. Didn't feel like it drank that high. I love good rums, but man, oh man. Oftentimes, I like rums to be a little higher, sometimes a little higher proof, only to cut some of that sweetness. So, but it was interesting with what that thing was giving. I wasn't thinking rum, but I can see why it would be that with those kind of notes. So, Papa's Pillar, are they also the ones that own Hemingway? I believe they are the ones that own, I believe, Hemingway rye whiskey, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right, pretty cool. All right, rum. So I've got some really nice four squares and stuff downstairs, which are much higher proof, and they do cut a little bit of that sweetness that's there. So very very interesting on that one. So all right, thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Um, oh yeah, that's what I also wanted to mention. For anybody part of the blitz, on your coasters that Paul was nice enough to make, on the back of it, one person has um, I don't know, there's some kind of marking. There's something that's going to be different that will signify that you were a lucky winner of something from Paul. So if you have one of the Bardstown Blitz coasters, grab it at some point, look on the back and see if you have any kind of special marking. And if so, you can either reach out to me and I can send something to Paul, or if you know Paul and you want to reach out to him, feel free to do so. But we'd like to find the winner of who has that coaster, so that they can claim their prize from Paul. So anyway, so if you haven't, go dig that thing up and take a look at your coaster and see if it has anything. So, all right, I'm scared to even look at what in the world B is. So, all right, in third place, letter B, River Set rum finished in rye cask. So this is another rum. My thoughts. This one is a spice. This is spicy to me. Has to be a rye finish and the high proof. This one I actually like more toward the cooler months in the year. Doesn't necessarily give me those summer island beach thoughts. So is this is another rum? Wait, so River Set rum finished in a rye cask. This is another rum. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was like those summer fruits. I could see like this being something that's more refreshing, but it had that Applejack kind of feel to it. It was kind of interesting. I mean, maybe even going back, I'd consider flip-flopping, B and C. They were kind of cool from that standpoint, but this had all of those, you know, pear, apple, all of that kind of summer fruit kind of feel to me, but finished in this thing's 132.4 proof. Oh my lord, I would have never have guessed that. Like I would have thought this thing was like 100 proof. It just was not drinking like that at all. So this is a Liquor Planet pick, local store for Paul. This one's spicy to you, hey? Hmm. What's up, Corey? Good to see you, brother. Hopefully you and Haley had a great time at the Blitz. So looked like you guys were having a good time. So hopefully you did. Um, Man, it had everything. It just had all of that summer fruit, late summer fruit kind of feel. So it was different. I would have never have guessed that as rum. Going back to A now with all of what that had, that molasses and brown sugar, like now putting wrapping my mind around the fact that I could be drinking rum it totally drank as that. So anyway, pretty cool. All right, so let's go to letter C. What do we have here? Okay, so letter C is Nashville Barrel Company Barrel Aged Rum NDA pick. God, I'm drinking rums tonight. Jesus. Caribbean rum dumped into recent, and I said A and C had a very, very similar profile, just less rum, or excuse me, less, brown sugars and all of that. So, but man, I could not wrap my mind around the fact that I was going to be drinking rum. So, all right, says Paul says my thoughts. This one's really solid to me as far as the rums go. Again, with the whiskey barrel rebarrel and aging, I think it adds the oak note, like from whiskey. It doesn't drink overly sweet either to me. So it's definitely not as sweet as A, but it had a lot of that very similar kind of profile. So that's where I was starting to pick up or think like pot still of some sort, had that, brown sugar, molasses, that funkiness, that very sweetness that it had to it. But man, I could not like wrap my mind around the fact that I would be drinking rums. So, but it had that feel. There was a little bit of funkiness that was giving me that kind of feel. So very interesting. All right. Well, I'm assuming D has got to be more rum. So, and in first place, this was the one that to me felt the proofiest. Let's see, what was this? This is also 132.02 proof. Man, these things were just not drinking very high proof to me at all. Boy, man, you could just pass that as, I mean, honestly, C, you could pass that as like a almost like a little bit of a finished whiskey, or just a sweeter whiskey. It has a lot of that rich characteristic to a whiskey. So, all right, so the winner of the evening is letter D. Wow, a New York one. Wow, Jesus. All right, so letter D is it from Taconic Distillery out of the state of New York. So this is rum DMC prime barrel pick, 4 years, 148 proof. Wouldn't have again thought that kind of proof, but again, A, C, and D had very similar profiles to me, just lower scale. They just went down in sweetness. D felt like it had more texture than some of the others. It was more close to B than it was, or excuse me, closer to C than it was A. But all right, so he says his thoughts. This one was my favorite of the four. She's a good kick in the teeth kind of rum, to be honest. Thought I would have suggest 148 proof on this. Don't get me wrong, it still drinks proofy, but not near 150 proof. I would agree. Like, this felt the proofiest, but not nearly that kind of proof. I would have guessed maybe like upper teens, maybe max low 120s, like 121, maybe 122 tops. I would have never have guessed that this thing is almost 150 proof. It's probably the most like well balanced one. Like, C and D were very similar in terms of, I don't want to say necessarily profiles, but kind of close. A was like, I mean, very, very sweet. So if you now with these things all being rums, like A is if you really enjoy like a very sweet rum, that would be like your jam. B, very much on that, you know, pear, apple, kind of a prickly pear. There was a little bit of a spice kind of factor to it. So if you like that kind of profile, B would have definitely been your thing. And then C and D, again, were kind of similar in terms of profiles. I would say from a whiskey standpoint, definitely more um like enjoyable, more whiskey esque, if that makes any sense. But very interesting. All right, that's kind of cool. I'm glad you sent me some rums. That was that tripped me up for sure. I was getting that profile. I just couldn't get my mind to want to go to that. Just thinking whiskey like right off the bat. I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that those were rums, but the profiles I think I described were very much of like what you'll get from a rum. So anyway, man, that was a lot of fun. So thanks, Paul. I appreciate you sending me that flight. So hopefully I didn't throw you off too much with the rum. No, I thought that was honestly, I thought it was pretty cool. I'm glad that that you sent me that. So um the rum I want to get in Key West, uncut filter I had once and it's delicious. Did I miss something, Tom? What was I? What's up, Thomas? Good to see you, buddy. Taconic Rum won this. I've got to get the distillery and get more. Yeah, that so to me, it was probably the most, it was the most whiskey-esque. Like that's one thing I'll say with um with rums is it depends on what kind you like because there are, and this is a good like kind of evolution of that, is that you've got the ones that are very, very sweet. You know, again, all that maple and brown sugar, all of that. And then you get the other ones that are more, I guess, sometimes tamed down from the whiskey casks. Sometimes they'll be rye casks, whatever it may be, and really kind of trick you into feeling like you're drinking a whiskey just with that extra little bit of sweetness with the brown sugars, molasses kind of notes. It has a lot of that characteristic. So yeah, I'd probably say D overall was probably my favorite just because it had more of that kind of whiskey texture and flavor profile that I like. So, you know, D and C probably would have been my two favorite, and B and A being kind of outliers of something very, very different. So, what else we got here? No, it wasn't. You didn't throw me off. It was kind of fun to do something like that. So, I've not done a rye, or excuse me, I've not done a rum blind in quite some time. I've got a bunch of them downstairs, and man, wouldn't even have thought of doing it. So yeah, I'm glad you sent that. So anyway, thanks guys. Hey, I appreciate everything. And remember, if you're looking for some coffee, get over by Drifting Drams, use Blitz 25 and get 10% off your order. So of coffee. So man, Paul, thanks for doing that tonight. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, so there we go. So I'm now I'm going to try to rest the liver and everything for the rest of this week and maybe even into the weekend, and take a take a little break from everything and just kind of relax and kind of wind things down a little bit. So sample E. Yeah, sample E, man. Sample E was absolutely fantastic. So gotta go with sample E as my favorite tonight. So, but no, overall, I appreciate every one of you. Thanks, guys, for hanging out tonight. For everybody that was at the Blitz, it was great to be able to see everybody. You know, it'd be nice to do maybe even a couple other small meetups and stuff throughout the area, even though a lot of us get a chance to kind of get out on barrel picks. So it's not just once a year that we see everybody, but there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that I only see once a year, and kind of wish that would kind of change a little bit. But you know, it is what it is, and if that's the only time, I'm glad we're able to at least do it once a year and have a good time. And I think we gave it I think we gave it our best the past few days. So anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, thanks for joining me tonight. And like I say, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers, guys. Hock out. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. we'll see you when we see you. Cheers, guys.